$72,000 in 1 week off a metal art catalog item. A catalog item is a design you don't even have to design. It's already in your supplier's catalog. All you have to do is publish it to your store or your platform, run the traffic to it, scale it, and count the money that you make. Metal art is absolutely blowing up right now. I'm going to share with you some tips that are going to help you level up your metal game. It's early days for metal, so now is the time to get started. With 3 platforms coming to the market, we now have a few to choose from, and I'm going to share with you which ones do what. I recently published an article on storehacks.com sharing the opportunity that exists with metal art. One guy, he read it, he went and then tested the ads and then scaled it and did 72K in 1 week. Imagine that. How would you feel? These platforms take care of everything for you once you've driven the customer to their site. He didn't have to create the design, he didn't have to powder coat or cut the design, and he didn't have to fulfill it. He was just driving traffic. These platforms take care of it all for you. It's an amazing result, but there are only so many catalog items that you're going to be able to test and do this process with. And because you're competing with everybody else that has access to those suppliers, there's some key tips on how to create metal art that is unique to your store. Every day you put off testing metal art is a day that several other merchants, hundreds of other merchants are coming in and potentially scaling winners that could have been yours. Now, unique is cool, but the catalog items are still worth testing. If 72K in 1 week doesn't motivate you to get started, I don't know what will. But once you've gotten through all those catalog items, you're going to have to know how to design these pieces yourself. That's where the real secret sauce to creating a 6-figure print-on-demand business lies. Of the 3 currently available platforms, only one actually lets us do custom designs. That means you do the design, you upload it to their platform, and they give you the creatives that you need to actually go and advertise. So let's get into it. What's the first tip, Ronnie? The first tip is niching down. Metal art has been around for some time, so they have hit those bigger niches. The truckers, the bikers, the hunters, but there is opportunity when you go down to those sub niches. And this is where internet marketers shine. Once you find yourself in a niche and you're going down that rabbit hole, finding out what those sub niches are, you're going to see a lot of opportunity where metal art hasn't been hit before. Hit or been sold. For example, the farming industry. For the cattle farmers alone, there are so many different breeds of cattle that you can specifically target. But on that note, with Facebook always removing interest at the moment, it's probably wise to check or cross-check with Facebook to see those interests are still available before you actually do it. So for cattle farmers, you've got the dairy farmers, you've got the Angus beef farmers, you've got Brahman bulls. They may be just an Australian cattle, bull. Herefords, Texas Longhorns, Highlands. I'm not a cattle farmer. Have a look. There's more, but they're the ones that I could think of. By hitting each sub-niche, you are unlocking a new portion of the audience that hasn't specifically seen a product made for them. This is the process to follow when you're going into any niche. If you need help selecting niches, make sure you download my free 1000 plus niche list ebook from the description below. And that's going to help you find a niche that you're going to test. There's heaps in there. Take a look. When you do niche down, what you're going to want to make sure you're doing with these designs is choosing a niche relevant image. That niche relevant image is the first thing your audience sees when they see the ad in the newsfeed. That's what speaks to them first. Then the rest captures them and then they make the decision to buy. Simple silhouettes are best. The shape of the cattle, the skull, the horns. Use something that's going to stand out, that's going to call the audience in. Whether you're looking into farming, fishing, camping, or first responders, each of them have sub-niches that you're going to be able to hit. Which brings me back to those designs and keeping them simple. There are a few reasons that you want to keep these designs simple. Firstly, if you've been in the industry any length of time, simple sells. If there's any level of time that it takes for your audience to actually have to work out what the design is, that is time taken away from getting the sale. It needs to be obvious, extremely obvious. Don't make them too detailed. Secondly, the best thing about simple designs is it means you can design them yourself. You don't need to wait on a designer. You can get stuck in with Photoshop, maybe with Canva. I'm seeing some problems that people are having with Canva. So using Photopea, GIMP, Photoshop, they're the tools that you're going to want to use. Thirdly, and a little less important, is it's going to make that design stronger, which means less shipping issues. because metal is quite bendy. A lot of designs of ours over the past have shown up damaged, and it's a pain in the ass. Next on the list is ramming home those emotional triggers. Personal emotional triggers, the good kind, the ones that are deeply meaningful to the audience that you're targeting. Things like anniversary dates, birth dates, significant years, last names, first names, rank, professions, nationality, states, address. There's so many. Personalizing metal art designs is one of the easy ways to light up early sales. Not only are you targeting their hobby, you're calling out that extra emotion that makes your audience stop and wonder what it'd be like to actually have this wall art up on their wall. If you're targeting the husbands and wives in a niche, which is an effective way to target, then make sure you're not only targeting the Mr. and Mrs. in the married interests, but get the first names on there as well, so you're getting those that are in a relationship. There's one design with 2 variations. To get inspiration for emotionally triggering metal art, make sure you search cake toppers on Etsy or Google Images or Pinterest, because what it's going to throw up are designs that are very, very similar to what a cut piece of metal will look like. They'll be designed in a way that they won't have the dropouts in there. You're not going to want to sell cake toppers. I've had people ask me, but who sells cake toppers? We're not after cake toppers. There's not enough margin in them. The design is just very similar to what we can sell with metal art. It's where I had my first lot of success with metal, is by emulating what I'd seen on the cake toppers, which makes for an important note when designing. You got to make sure each piece is connected, because just like a naughty child, you're going to have dropouts if you don't have that connection. The problem with dropouts is you lose key features in your design. In the upload process, there is a continuity tester, so simply uploading a design into the platform, it's going to highlight which pieces are going to drop out, if they're going to drop out. The other way I do it is in Photoshop, is get the magic wand tool, highlight it, create a new layer, and then fill it with a contrasting color, and then I'll see very quickly what, if anything, is going to drop out. If it is going to drop out, make sure you put in those supports. Now, to ram home the emotion even further, blend the emotional triggers. Having a niche relevant image is the first step. Having the names is a second step. The third step could be the anniversary date. Kind of like this piece here. You've got the bike, you've got the anniversary date, and you've got the names. How can you think of different ways that you can blend these elements together? Ask below, share your thoughts below. Let's have a chat. Next, you want to make sure you've got your upsells active on your store. The easiest upsell for this product are the magnetic screws. You sell them for 20 bucks and you're making about $12 per sale extra on a no-brainer upsell. And don't forget those broad niches. I know, I've told you to niche down, but this year is a bit different to the others. There is still a ton of opportunity in those broad niches. With the rise of TikTok advertising and the results people are getting on there, it's definitely worth a shot to launch those broad level pieces. Now, the platforms that we're using for made-on-demand metal art or print-on-demand metal art, you've got Shine On, you've got T-Launch, and you've got My Easy Monogram. I know the owner of each platform personally, and they're all great dudes. They want to see your success. The links to each are in the description below. However, the standout supplier for print-on-demand metal art is T-Launch, and this is because they allow you to create custom pieces, give you the creatives you need to advertise, all on a platform that's super easy to use. Shine On, they are fantastic because they allow you to sell on their platform, so you don't even need a Shopify store to get started. And then you've got the guys from My Easy Monogram, another amazing company, and what they do well is they're continually putting new designs into their catalog each and every day. Another note about T-Launch is they integrate directly into Etsy. Now, when you're looking for design inspiration and you're looking to do designs yourself, the best way I've found to do it is by going onto Etsy and searching for the niche SVG. So it could be biker SVG or motorbike SVG. The SVG file type that we're searching for is not the actual file that we're going to be using when we're designing. Most sellers will have the PNG included in the files that they do allow you to download. What you want to make sure though is that the seller that you're buying from is going to allow you to sell print-on-demand products. Now, they're going to do that by sharing in the description whether or not they prohibit print-on-demand sellers from buying. They'll say that they'll allow personal and commercial use up to a certain number, and there'll be others that allow you to buy a commercial license. What these SVG files or PNG files allow you to do is remove a lot of the time dedicated to having to put in those extra supports. The PNG file types are almost ready to be uploaded straight into the platform. You just have to put in a couple of extra supports and away you go. make sure you are buying these designs. You're not ripping designs. If you want to learn how to do print-on-demand metal art designs yourself, make sure you watch this video next. I think it's here. Watch this video next, or this one. See you in the next one.